What's going on, guys? You know what time it is. That's right, it's time for another episode of Let's Talk. I'm Michael Olivella, and I'm glad that you're here with me today. So, today we're going to talk about meal timing. Now, I was going to combine this with supplement timing, but after going through the show notes together, I realized that the video for the two combined would be just too large. So, I'm going to just talk about the meal timing, and my next video is going to talk about supplement timing. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, as many people already know, of course, and there might be some people that don't realize this, is that food is the largest part of the success or failure of your fitness goals. Look at it like this: reaching your goals is going to be about 20% in the gym and about 80% in the kitchen. You might have even heard somebody say you can't out-exercise a bad diet. Or you may have even seen a meme like the one pictured here that says something like, abs are made in the kitchen. So there's a reason for those sayings. They're the hard truth that many people just don't want to accept. And a lot of it has to do with the word diet. So one of the first things to do is dispelling the notion of the popular definition of the word diet. Diets don't have to be a bad thing, and they're not a bad thing, because by the very definition of the word, every single person on the planet is on a diet, because all it means is that is your lifestyle in terms of how, when, and what you eat. You can have a good diet, you can have a strict protein-rich diet, you can have a low-calorie diet, high-calorie diet, low-fat diet, high-fat diet, good diet, bad diet. So people stop getting turned off whenever somebody says the word diet. Now, one of the other things that people seem to fail in the most is knowing how much they're eating. And it's not so much with eating a huge meal, because if you eat a huge meal and you get stuffed, you know that you've eaten too much. But if you're eating too many calories, but those calories still are spread between, say 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 p.m. or later that night, you're spending well over half of your 24-hour day packing calories into your body. So during that time, your body is breaking down that food for energy during that time. So wouldn't you want to be spending more time out of your 24-hour day burning body fat for energy rather than burning food off for energy? So for starters, one should at maximum only spend about 12 hours of their day in that eating window where they're actually eating. So if you start eating at 7 o'clock in the morning, you don't need to eat anything else past 7 o'clock at night. That doesn't mean that you have to restrict your calories. It just means that if you're on an 1,800 calorie a day diet, that means between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., that's whenever you need to get your 1,800 calories in. Now that's not a strict definition of it. There's a lot of playing around with that you can do, and that's pretty much the foundation of something called intermittent fasting. And I'll talk about that in greater detail on another Let's Talk, because it is a very effective way for fat loss if you can play around with it and find the style of intermittent fasting that works with you. But just to sum it all up, you need to be spending more time relying on the breakdown of your food relying on the breakdown of your body fat for energy rather than the breakdown of the food that you're packing into your body. And of course, don't look at it too bad, because the 8 hours that you're spending sleeping, you should be worried about burning body fat during your time that you sleep rather than food. So if you're breaking down your food for the 12 hours a day, the other 12 hours a day, you should be breaking down your body fat for energy. Now, all that is probably an oversimplification, but if you just look at that as the basic essence of what I'm trying to say, then you'll be fine. Now, to the meat of this topic. Your eating needs to be tailored to your goals, and that will also affect how you balance your macronutrients, which is again another topic I'll cover later. Your biggest meal needs to be the first meal eaten after your workout. So if you're working out early in the morning, make sure that your morning meal, and whether or not you call it breakfast is just an argument of semantics, but make sure that morning meal is the biggest macronutrient rich meal. If you work out a little later in the morning, make your lunchtime your meal the largest, and so on and so forth throughout the day. And the reason for that is after you work out, your body is going to be the most primed to soak in nutrients and everything. So you want to get your most nutrient dense meals as the first meal after your workout. Now, the meal that you eat prior to your workout, it doesn't have to be that big, and if it is just a regular meal, then it needs to be at least 3 hours before you work out. But it also needs to be a carbohydrate rich meal, as to provide ample energy for you to make it through your workout. Now, something that you might hear thrown around the gym, especially from the bro science folks, is that there's an anabolic window of like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that where you have to get your protein in, you have to get your meal in that 30 minutes after you work out. And that's just simply not true. In fact, it's scientifically proven that this anabolic window, which is nothing more than just the time period where protein synthesis is working at the greatest capacity, is actually on average of 48 to 72 hours. This means that during this 48 to 72 hours that you're resting your muscle group you last trained, or if you're like me, you're resting your full body, your body is creating proteins and rebuilding muscle tissue at the highest rate. Now, there is a window that makes things like glycogen and creatine uptake more efficient, and I'll be honest, I don't know what that long window is, and there's a wide array of opinions out there, but I'll get back to that in the supplement video next time. As far as the meal that you eat before you work out, the early morning folks who are essentially going to be eating probably more of a snack size pre-workout should be done no closer than 30 minutes before working out. And for the rest of us, if it's a regular meal as the last meal we have before our workout, you need to make sure you space the ending of that meal and your workout out by about 3 hours. And a lot of that has to do with, if you have too much on your stomach and you get in there in the gym and you get sweaty and hot and everything like that, you could upset your stomach and get sick. Also, if you're taking a pre-workout and you have too much on your stomach, you can actually dampen the effects of your pre-workout, and you just don't want to do that. For one, it would end up being a waste of your money for you to take a workout and not get the effects that you're desiring off of it. Now, something else you'll hear a lot of folks talk about is the whole 5 or 6 meals per day. And I'm not entirely against that, but I don't think it's a strict way to look at things. So in that eating window that I talked about earlier, whether it be, 12 hours that you're eating like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 10 hours, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever it is, the only essential part is that you make sure you get all your calories that you've planned through the day into your body within that time. And if that sounds a little bit weird, just stay tuned in the next few weeks, because I'm going to do a video on intermittent fasting where I'm going to break it down in greater detail. And you can even do some research on it yourself, but just suffice it to say that intermittent fasting is very effective. I've used intermittent fasting before with phenomenal results in fat loss, and I really mean phenomenal. I may even say that my best results in just simple fat loss came as a result of intermittent fasting. So guys, that's all I have today on the meal timing. I hope all that's been informative for you. I hope it's been educational. I hope that it's helped dispel some rumors or maybe some misinformation that you might have heard or read for yourself. If you guys got any questions about this, throw a comment down there in the bottom, and I'll read it and I'll try to answer your question. If there's something else related to this that you would like me to cover that you think would be able to be covered in a larger video, let me know and I'll cover that. But guys, for now, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button down there and in the lower right below this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe in the lower left below this video. Comment down below if you like this, share this video with your friends. And guys, just lift heavy, but lift smart. I wouldn't say don't eat heavy, but eat smart definitely. And guys, I will talk to you guys in that next video. Bye bye.